lights in the trees, a trick of the frost, a ghost on the breeze. But I saw a mirror older than me, staring through time like it wanted to speak. The forest went silent, the world held its breath. Something was watching beyond life and death. We stepped through the green, boots breaking the seal, not chasing a light, but something too real. I came back with salt on my skin, my mind split wide where the storm got in. They call it a test, but I know the deal. History blinks beneath the green veil. Yeah.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to our review and preview of The Green Veil. Tonight, we're going to be reviewing Chapter 5, The Double Blind, and previewing Chapter 6, which is Convergence Vector. What's going on, gentlemen? How are you doing tonight?
Great.
I'm doing great.
Full moon behind my shoulder, man. Full moon rising.
I thought you were going to say the Black Moon. Anyway, John, I don't know if you're familiar with, and I don't know, Chris, if you're familiar with Iron Maiden. But this shirt, I wore for a reason. Because this tour, which I've seen, Caught Somewhere in Time and also Somewhere in Time, just reminded me of John and the review preview of tonight. Because, we all know about this. Well, I don't know if we all know about this, but this time bubble distortion thing that John encountered in Rendlesham. I mean, Chapter 5. I'll let Chris go first before I open up my mouth on it.
Well, let me just say, Chapter 5 was one of the most amazing chapters that I read. I had to, John, I had to do it 3 times. And the only reason I say that is because I was like, every 5 minutes, my wife would go, she'd hear and go, "You got to be kidding me." I'd be saying that during the chapter of it. And folks, let me tell you something. You have to see Chapter 5 because Chapter 5 really is the start of the highway that I think of John's adventure with this. And I call it an adventure. You can call it a journey, but it is an amazing thing because it will blow your mind about the ufology field. Because you know what? If you watch the entire series, which I'm going to do, you will have a whole new idea about ufology and what's really going on. Some of it's scary, some of it's enlightening, but I will tell you, it's all informative.
Also, it was interesting how it ties in what was going on at the time. You know, the Cold War, the height of the Cold War, the Soviet satellite. The whole mission was pretty much, but it's kind of interesting because it seems like there were multiple things going on at once. It was a pre-planned, staged weapons test. Then you had the takedown, looking to take down a Soviet satellite. Obviously, it was a spy satellite. And then this happens. And I don't know, with John, was this pre-planned, unexpected, a side effect of what they were testing? And they just happened to be out there in the forest and encountered this and enveloped them. Specifically, it was Jack Barrett and the other character in this series, but also the physiological effects.
Well, let me can I just chime in here real quick?
Go ahead.
John, I think from watching this, I think the main idea was to take down this satellite because they knew it was coming. They knew it was there. They were pretty smart. They had the direct energy weapons to do it, to do everything there. But from what I'm getting, and I could be way off base, is they got more than what they bargained for. Am I correct on that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, and am I off base where I think you became an actual conduit?
Well, it'll be explained further down the road.
We're going with that again.
I'm just saying. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I played a part in this. But trust me, like I told you guys before, I'm throwing you fastballs right now. Towards the middle of the book, you're going to get a couple sliders.
But
And
we
just when you figured out what my part is in this and where this is going, there's going to be this curveball.
I knew it. I knew the curveball's coming.
But we do know, John, that there was it seemed to me like there was a struggle between the left and the right. The humans who were saying, okay, we're going to take advantage of this and take as much information and do what we can. But yet the entity, the signal, whatever way you want to call it, was also having its own struggle to gain as much knowledge and to do its mission plan the way they wanted. You were the man in the middle. That's the easiest layperson way to say it.
Right.
You could say conduit or man in the middle, but you were the lucky one, unfortunate one, or whatever, that you were split in half and things attached to you, and they tried to suppress that, but the other side was saying, we're not going to suppress it. Am I right on that?
Wait, before you answer that, John, but what if this was not accidental, that this has already been pre-planned?
On which side, Bill? That's a good question, but which side?
From the signal side. That this is already something that was already, because if you look at that, if this is a time distortion bubble, and John encountered something from the future, his future self, that means the future self knows what's going to happen at that time. So was this?
How do you know that? How do you know that?
I don't. I'm
well,
just.
Why would what if the future self just got sucked into it?
It's very possible. I'm just making an assumption.
Yeah,
but what if this was? But what if this was planned, that they knew to be there at that time to encounter you at that time in the future? Because
are you saying they came back or I went forward?
You know what I think? Can I? Yeah, and I let me piggyback on what Bill said. Suppose there was a neutral space where both happened, that you went forward and things went back, and you met in the middle, like that area that when you got sucked in, right? When you were gone, when you went missing, when you were in there, the signal maybe sent something toward you, and you guys came together in like a neutral zone.
Or the signal's always been there, but it was awakened by certain circumstances.
This is a perfect time to go to this. Okay, what if I went forward to a convergent point? Okay, now, Bill, this is the perfect time to play this little 6-minute clip that tells what's going on right now. And everybody needs to listen closely because some of your questions will be answered if you catch it right.
What a setup, right, Chris?
Yeah, you know what? He would have been a great investigator because he gives you just enough kernels to make you want to ask this stuff, but not enough where you could get the answer. But so you always got to question him.
But remember,
John, I love you, but interviewing you is a pain in the ass. I can tell you that right now.
But you know what, too? It's the detective skills in you too, like last week.
Well, it's like good spy and bad guy. Both are trained, and we're trying to trick each other. We're,
versus spy.
We'll play the 6-minute clip, and we'll just hear
that. Listen, and then we'll all of us, including those folks on chat, participate, ask questions.
Be prepared. It's about to get really crazy.
So if you want to put your questions in chat, we'll get to them. So let's get to the clip.
Okay, here he comes from the south. He's coming toward us now. Now we're observing what appears to be a beam coming down to the ground. This is unreal.
3i Atlas, Returning Presence or Convergence Trigger. On July 1st, 2025, the object designated 3i Atlas was confirmed as the third known interstellar body to pass through our solar system. Publicly, it is described as a fragment of cosmic debris. Privately, its emergence coincides with Project Echo Frame's resonance forecasts tied to Jack Barrett. This white paper addresses a critical hypothesis. 3i Atlas is not a random visitor, but a returning presence, linked to to prior convergence points, including the Rendlesham event of December 1980. Its reappearance is not incidental. It is timed. Observational data detected by the Atlas survey. July 1st, 2025, inbound at interstellar velocity. Orbital analysis suggests a hyperbolic trajectory, yet anomalies persist. Historic parallels. The Rendlesham incident occurred during an earlier convergence cycle tied to Cobra Mist's failure and anomalous radar echoes. Witnesses, including Jack Barrett, experienced time dilation consistent with foreign field interaction. Signal correlation, echo frame. Modeling indicates that 3I Atlas's path intersects harmonic coordinates identified at Capel Green, 45 years to the day after Barrett's original encounter. A returning presence. The cyclical convergence model. 3I Atlas is not new. It re-enters on resonance-timed pathways, synchronized with human consciousness triggers. Jack Barrett's altered DNA fields may be the interface, making him the receiver rather than a passive witness. Resonance intelligence. If 3I Atlas is engineered or guided, its function could be surveillance, transmission, or initiation of the next stage in Echo Protocol. Its spectral anomalies align with non-thermal emissions detected during Barrett's original encounter. Temporal feedback. Barrett's time dilation event in 1980 may not have been a singular phenomenon, but an opening of a loop that 3I Atlas now completes. Returning here implies not only the object, but also the return of Barrett himself, across layered consciousness states. Implications for Jack Barrett. His resonance signature is already entangled with the anomaly. 3I Atlas's return activates the final sequence, the convergence. His son, Leo Barrett, represents the biological echo that 3I Atlas may be designed to awaken. 4. Global security. This event is not a close approach, but a signal match. Intelligence agencies, OSI, CIA, NSA, recognize that 3I Atlas's re-entry aligns with projected timelines for the 2026 Hall of Accordance event. Competing nations, Russia, China, are monitoring, interpreting this as a repeatable weaponization cycle. For humanity, if 3I Atlas is a returning beacon, it is a marker that the window for choice is closing. Science and faith must unify or collapse under AI-driven weaponization. Barrett's testimony, already scheduled, will either seal disclosure or trigger suppression. Research and operational directives. Resonant tracking. Cross-correlate Atlas data with Cobra Mist archives. Look for repeating harmonic frequencies. Biological interface monitoring. Continuous analysis of Jack Barrett's and Leo Barrett's DNA field anomalies. Confirm if their resonance aligns with 3I Atlas's emission patterns. Signal containment. Establish deep radar and EM array coverage at Capel Green for the December anniversary. Deploy counterintelligence to monitor Mossad, Russian, and Chinese presence. Psychological conditioning. Prepare Barrett and his son for field immersion. Past events indicate their conscious stability is the linchpin for controlling or surviving the convergence. 3I Atlas cannot be dismissed as random. Its return is a signal event tied to Echo Protocol, Rendlesham 1980, and the imminent Capel Green convergence. Jack Barrett's original encounter may not have been the beginning, but the middle of a cycle, one that now comes full circle. The question remains, is 3I Atlas observing, activating, or calling us back into the field we never truly left?
We scan the dark, we track the skies. A silent shape behind the light. It rides the orbits of the gods, but never once returns our cries. Venus whispers, Mars stands still. Jupiter caught the icy thrill. A traveler with no voice, no flame, but every motion cold.
There is a lot to unpack there.
An awful lot.
An awful lot. First of all, what is going on with these coordinates from 45 years ago and the correlation of that happened at Rendlesham to Atlas, the 3i Atlas? That's question one. And also your son, because I know, and you know, I don't want to get into the personal aspect, but I know your son has also some, I don't want to say ability, but there's some insight with your son as well. I mean, there's so much to unpack here.
You know what, Bill? That brings the very first question that has to be asked. So, John, this is a question I don't know if you want to answer. Was your DNA altered?
According to them, it was, yes.
Okay.
And your son?
Yeah.
Okay, and can you give us a little more of how it was altered? We know what caused it, but we want to know what the actual outcome of the DNA altered is.
And the genetic, obviously, you handed over to your son when he was born, I'm assuming.
Right.
Well, that's a story that you can only go off of what I've been told. And I read allegedly, and I say allegedly because I do have the reports. Came from a reputable lab in Pennsylvania. It was a high-end test that his mother and I come back from the beginning of time. Our bloodlines go back to the beginning of time. And we came together and formed, well, we had our son, but he's got a new bloodline, a completely new bloodline.
By the emergence of your two bloodlines.
Yes.
Okay. So, talking about Atlas, I believe after watching that tape, to me, that it is a signal. It is an intelligence gathering thing rather than a ship, rather than a comet. I just think it's something to collect data or prepare us for data coming in. What is your feeling on that, John?
It's not to prepare us. It's now or never.
What do you mean by that? Now or never, though?
This is it. What it's coming in now. Either you're either going to understand and change, or it's not going to go well.
But is this the signal itself making this connection with what's going on? Is it directly connected? The harmonic frequency, the signal itself is actually connected with it, or is you as the conduit, as Chris has mentioned?
Everybody has the ability to interact with the signal. It's just whether you want to or not.
Okay. But why you?
I can't tell you that right now. That comes out later.
See, that's the specific is if anybody can do the signal, right? If anybody can interact with
No. Anybody can. Okay, did you hear the song at the end?
Uh-huh.
Did it give you goosebumps?
everything in your series is giving me goosebumps.
No, but did this song kind of harmonize, make you feel harmonic to something, like you're being drawn to something?
Right. And I think that there is a certain thing in this whole series that makes people believe that we are, as humans, as a Homo sapien race, being drawn into something. But you, for some reason, is leading the pack. Am I right, Bill?
Uh,
I am making that assumption myself because obviously he's not going to tell us anything right now.
But you missed it. It did tell you. It told you a little bit about what was about to happen with my son and I, and what my spot was and what his spot was.
I get that, but also it also leads to again, the 45th anniversary, and there's a connection to what happened in Rendlesham 45 years ago. It's directly tied to Three Eye Atlas. And then there's a reference to some kind of...
Did you hear? This is a fact, right? This was stuff that they've come out with. Forget about the speculation. They're claiming this has been around before Earth was created. That's what they're saying. Whatever this is coming in.
The Atlas.
Yes.
I think that probably like 330 billion years already that there's something.
This is pre-humanity, maybe even our solar system. Think about what that implication is. If you kind of go think about back to creation.
Is the
solar system was created when everything came together.
So is Three Eye Atlas going to, okay, if it's not some type of a reconnaissance or spaceship, is it going to relate some kind of a signal that's going to become aware to you, your son's involvement, and to others here on Earth in a profound way? That's why, like you're saying, this is going to be one of those moments where it's going to be take it or leave it. This is a profound moment in our history. Is it going to be like something like that?
Okay, Bill, let me piggyback on what you're saying. John, I'm starting to think that this Atlas is as a monolith, like a monolith. Remember the movie 2001 Space Odyssey, the monolith?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, your smile is telling me that we're on the right track.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so
why don't you explain I'm not saying anybody's dumb, but explain where you're going with this. Like,
I'm just thinking that basically that I'm looking at the Atlas, that is, from what you're telling me of the history of it, from what you're telling me of you, all right, from what you're telling me of this whole series, which is unbelievably entertaining, that this Atlas is a monolith, that it will come by every so often around the Earth thing. It's a collection of data. It's a collection of what we're doing, and perhaps maybe even download stuff, maybe to you as a conduit. Now, you said anybody can get the signal, but it picked you, and you don't want to answer that because there may be more to this in the beginning of the series.
But Chris, what if this, like similar to the monolith, encapsulates everything from the beginning of time itself? And in other words, from billions of years.
Right.
It's always been there since our beginnings. That's why John says something about the connections to the beginning of timeline with the blood. So it's encapsulating all of history, past, present, and future.
What do you say, John?
Huge.
What do you say, John?
You guys are working good. Keep working. Keep going. I'm listening.
No, I want to hear something from you. You got to give
really. You got to give us a little something.
Well, ask me a question, and I'll give you a yes or no or incorrect.
Are we on the right track?
You're getting warm, yeah.
Getting warm. Now, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, okay, so let's talk about the signal. Okay, so the signal is becoming more profound in the series, and the signal is trying to bring back your memory, while the humans are trying to repress your memory. So you're getting this conflict here. You're getting humans who say, we don't want John to remember. We're going to not erase your memory, but restructure. The signal is saying, no, we want John to remember this because it's important. The information that you're being told or downloaded or whatever is something that humanity has to know.
Okay, humanity. Okay.
He's the messenger.
This is going to be tough because I don't want to give it away.
Here we go.
I got to figure out how to say.
By the way,
you got to give us a little bit.
Really? And while you're
thinking, I'm trying to do this. Okay, you're assuming that humanity has to be told, right? Is that the premise you're operating on?
I think that you're
spoon-fed. We have to be spoon-fed what we have to do. Isn't that what's going on right now?
Yes.
everything on TV.
And
But
I
we
think you're the
don't.
messenger.
We're not. We don't have to be spoon fed.
I don't think we could take it in big gulps. Is that what you're saying? That we're going to take it all or nothing?
But
Yeah,
But-
you're gonna. What I'm trying to say is okay. You got to go back. That's why I was hoping you, when you listen to this, you get a grasp of what I'm trying to say. We are in a conversion point right now.
Yeah.
What's about to overtake us for real?
Mhm.
Forget about this show. What we're talking about, the actual science fight, which is mostly true. What are we on the verge cuspus of right now?
is humanity ready for it?
No, but what are we on the cuspus? Forget about disclosure from aliens.
No,
Yeah,
What
I'm
is
not-
humanity?
I'm
No,
not
what
even-
I mean is what is humanity on the cuspus of right now?
Of an advancement of you can call it an enlightening, an advancement,
Are we
spiritual
advancing?
awakening.
Are wait a minute? Are we awakening? Or
That's what
is there a different intelligence that's awakening?
It can be an integration of both, couldn't it be? A non-human intelligence integrating with consciousness.
But what has all the experts said about this? Again, I'm talking about real stuff now. What have they warned about? This is not good. This is dangerous. But we have to keep pushing forward. Why? Because if we don't, the Chinese or the Russians or maybe India or somebody else, if they get to this first, then they will control everything. But are we going to be controlling it, or is NHI and / AI going to be controlling everything? Did you just see the article that came out that the pilots are being driven now by AI? Did you see that, Chris?
Actually, I was actually told that, and I'm trying to think of who told me this. Hold on one second.
Commander?
No, I can't remember. But anyways, about the stealth. Oh, yes, I was told these new helmets that the F-35 have.
God helmets, kind of.
Okay, so I was just told about the God helmets. When they actually fit those on the pilots, they have to keep the same grooming hair that they have as they fitted that. It cannot be off, because the slightest bit that it's being off will throw the trajectory or whatever the command. But these God helmets that you're talking about, Bill, with artificial intelligence, I mean, it's almost like it's integrating with your mind. The pilots are just about on the verge of mind melting with the consciousness of the
You
plane.
do know that. Well, okay, I may be crossing the line here. I gotta watch what I say.
John,
No,
you gotta,
no,
you gotta throw
no,
something out there.
no, I am. I'm trying to explain this. Okay. Okay, the pilots go through a certain amount of training
Yes.
that is different than anybody else goes through. They go through training how to deal with interrogation, how to do different things, how to control their mind, what to say, what not to say. And then they go through another level of training to interact and activate certain things that most people can't do without the training. There's a whole separate training with the new helmet. Okay. And I'll give you an example. Not too long ago, less than 2 years ago, I was up in Ogden and I was sitting right next to an F-35 pilot, and we were talking, and he just got hand selected for a new project down at Eglin, and they were taking the best of the best 35 pilots to go down there. And I just said, it's got to do with the helmet and the interaction with AI and the thing. And he just turned white and he looked at me and he goes, we're going to be a special unit. They are working on, besides putting a chip, being able to put a chip into certain people, they're working on the mind, to expand the mind to interact. The article just came out. It just talked about how AI is driving our pilots right now.
But
It's not the pilot flying the plane anymore. It's the AIs flying the plane.
Okay. Is the threat our current development of the NHI, the non-human intelligence interaction AI, with consciousness, or is the signal giving us a warning about the direction that we're going to? I'm trying to, because there has to be an intelligence behind the signal itself. What is the source of that intelligence? Is that's the thing that I'm trying to get a grasp on. And before you get to either of you comment on that, Dave in chat from the UK, he comments, 3i Atlas is coming from the same direction as the probe with the golden disc. Remember that on the Voyager?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's also coming from the direction from space that the WOW signal came from. You think there's a connection to that as well?
Do I?
Yeah, either one of you.
Oh, go ahead, Chris. You can go first.
You know what? That's something that I don't have enough knowledge to say yes or no on, to be honest with you, as far as where I know there was a WOW signal. I know that we sent out the Voyager, but if this Atlas is on the same course, I've got to see that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either. But okay, guys, this is what most people don't want to understand. Okay, Chris, you like the song, right? You like the songs, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What? Why? What about the besides the music? Besides the music, well, go back. I want you to go to think about this. What did they say about Pink Floyd? Which is what they talked about the Pink Floyd and what the album did and stuff. Remember that?
If I remember right,
There was a message in the music.
yeah, and I've always said that on every show, that there's a message. The story is in the music. Am I right on that, Bill?
Psychedelics didn't help hurt either.
Yeah, but wait a minute. What is?
I know what you're saying.
What is music? Okay, I'm trying to
Music
get
is information.
No, it's more than information.
But music is also mathematical.
It's a harmonic.
It's a harmonic, exactly.
Have you ever been in like a certain church that's built in the ancient times, and the way the music bounces off?
Yes,
and
the
it affects you.
Yeah.
Go to the where they do the tabernacle choir and sit there and listen to the organ bounce. It's the harmonics. Your body is capable of being a lot more than it is. We don't need AI. We don't need it, is what I'm trying to say. This without.
We are AI. We are intelligent enough. We don't use our entire brain, and I think that's one.
Right, we are, but we're not. We're different than what AI is and NHI is. We are different, and we are allowing AI and NHI to take us over.
So we're at a dangerous precedent right now on how we're going forward with the development of NHI, our own creation, and AI, and integrating it moving forward. That is the danger. Is that what you're saying?
What are we going to do? What's going to happen?
I don't think anybody really wants to stop it.
No, but what I'm saying is, what will you and I or the rest of us be needed for?
Exactly.
They've already said within a decade they'll be able to repair themselves.
Right.
They won't. They'll just be able to repair themselves.
Self-aware with even possibly the consciousness aspect of it all.
So humanity could be threatened
Absolutely.
by AI.
By all means.
Yes.
What was space? What was the Space Odyssey? How did
Hal took over the ship.
Hal went nuts.
Yeah.
He went bonkers, baby.
Yeah. What was the movie with the war? Was it War Games or whatever? Where the computer thought you could win a nuclear war
By playing chess.
Yeah,
and
then tic-tac-toe made it.
So pretty soon, are we even going to have to think anymore? Think about what's going on right now. I've said this in another show. You got chat, right, Bill? You got Chat GPT. Do you have it, Chris?
I don't use it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fine. But if you do,
a lot of things in chat I don't like.
But here's a couple things that go on. It's learning you. Everything about you, it's learning you. And not only is it learning you, but it's putting together a database.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that database is your database, but it also goes into a collective.
It goes into collective consciousness.
Yes, it's creating its own consciousness. Yes.
Right, exactly. But what happens when it decides to use your consciousness, your form of what it's learned about you against you, or for its own purposes rather
Well,
than
did you just see the one of the speculations? I forget who it was, but it wasn't like just an everyday Joe said that they're not going to be able to. I think it was Luna said it. She said that AI is going to give up the truth about what we're really doing.
Will AI give up the truth? I'm not sure if AI is going to give up the truth, because I think AI itself will turn around and create its own entity. I honestly believe that.
It could. That's there. You go.
You got him smiling.
You got a little headway
What's
there.
that, Bill?
You got him smiling. You're on the right track. Keep
Yeah, I
going.
know. Once I get him smiling, I know that I hit bingo. If he's not smiling, then I know I can't go down that road with him.
Right. But what is the danger? What is the danger? Okay. How do I want to?
I'll give you an example. So let's say AI collects my voice, can duplicate my voice, can duplicate everything. This is primitive. I'm not saying advanced. This is not the answer, but this is primitive. It can decide to go out and buy a luxury boat or anything using my voice, my credit card, everything else that is accumulated by me. Now, that's primitive, but yet we're on that verge right now because people are using AI for scams. So let's take it another step. AI becomes its own identity. And then when AI becomes its own identity, how much power will it have over us? How can it punish us? How can it reward us for doing things for them?
Oh.
Does that? Am I around that place, John?
Well, that's part of it, but think of it this way, right? Okay. If AI, like AI doesn't have a bad day. It's data driven.
Right.
And it learns and it grows and it understands how to manipulate and control everything, right? So it could actually stage an event or something that make you would believe is real. There's so many things that it can do. Think about it this. Do you want AI to control our power grids?
AI will control everything. I don't want it to.
No.
Do you want it to control our power grids or water?
Because it can shut it off. It can turn off our power if they deem us to be a threat. Am I right, Bill?
Chris, I think he hinted on stuff. John threw out little tidbits that we all have this ability to connect with what you want to call it, the harmonics, the frequencies, whatever you want to
we
call it.
do.
But what if it is so profound that when the signal, whenever it happens, let's just say it happens this year. I'm just hypothesizing. If it happens around the same time, Christmas time, 45 years later after Rendlesham, but if it taps into every human consciousness, people that are religious, I'm raised a Catholic, it's like the rapture, the awakening. It's like all of a sudden.
Yeah, but is it good?
But it's coming from the signal. It's how you interpret
No.
it. It doesn't matter if you're a believer or a non-believer, because it's going to affect everyone, and that's the moving point forward. How we make that decision.
But here's what John is saying, if I'm hearing him right, is that the AI is not going to be good for humanity because it'll take over humanity.
Yes. NHI. People are being fooled. It's AI. AI is just a data point to collect all our consciousness. NHI is driving AI.
So basically what you're saying is the non-human intelligence that is using AI is using it for possibly nefarious reasons.
Okay, now picture this. Okay. I gotta word this right. All right, we're gonna advance. Okay. So at some point we no longer have to be in the human body or the container, or whatever you want to call it.
Will
So
be energy.
No, it'll be the consciousness. It'll be the consciousness.
But
itself.
John, isn't consciousness energy?
Yes, but it's more than just energy, because a plasma ball is energy, but then we can create those, but we can't create it with intelligence in it. Then there's the real plasma ball that has the intelligence in it, okay? But picture this. The battle isn't going to be battleships, tanks. It's going to be who controls this,
Right.
The mind.
the mind.
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to answer it, but how does this connect to what you experience in Rendlesham?
Well,
This-
you're assuming that the signal is bad.
Oh, I am not. I am not. I'm just saying it must be something that was meant for you. Because if you seen your future self
Okay.
in there, did the future self give you any like a foreboding warning? Was there anything to indicate that, or was the future self you at the time in the future where this is all going to come to a head at some point in your life, and it's giving you the self that was going on at the time a vision of what was going to happen in the future when the signal comes to some kind of a climax moment where it's going to affect every living person on this planet. It's going to be a profound an awakening almost on a global scale.
Okay. So what do you? I mean, you're saying we have the ability to have an awakening, right?
A consciousness awakening, maybe more expansion of the use of our minds. From the 10%, it's like we're going to now be able to have an ability above and beyond what we're currently at.
You know what? I'm taking a different approach.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear that, because this, like I said,
I think John is alluding to maybe it's a warning.
John.
Oh, what's going to happen?
No.
Oh.
I think that possibly the signal, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the signal is a warning.
No,
Okay.
it's not a warning.
So when the signal reaches its precipice at some point in the future, I don't know if it was that 2026 reference, is that going to be where it doesn't matter all walks of life, whatever religion or lack of religion thereof, it's going to be a point where it's going to be so profound and everyone's going to be connected to this signal.
All right.
And that's going to be the factor where we have to make a choice on how we move forward as a civilization. Is it going to be like something that deep?
Could be. Now here's a question for you.
See what I mean?
Okay,
No.
here's a question for you. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but what is probably the most peaceful 24 to 48 hours and the most
Christmas time. Christmas time.
From Christmas Eve, sometime Christmas Eve day till after, the next morning, so say, just use a number for now, from noon on Christmas Eve to noon on Christmas Day. It's like, that is some of the most, they stopped wars on
yeah.
World War One. World War One, they did a truce.
We all know. We all know there's a spiritual component to this.
Right.
Right.
But
John?
is it? But yeah. But what is the spiritual part?
Well, see, that's the thing that eludes me, I would say, because I'm looking at AI and NHA as being a possibly hostile, may be the wrong word, but let's just say not to our advantage, which we already agreed on. All right, so we know NHI is pretty much controlling AI in order to collect, let's just say, more than consciousness, but our data, our information is the layperson's way to do it. So if there's a spiritual component to this, you know, people have talked about that this atlas may be the signs that God is coming back, that revelations are in order, that seals may be broken. Now, I'm not saying that this is the thing, but I'm saying people are talking about that the spiritual component is starting to be awakened in our consciousness throughout the world. There is a increase in a spiritual component to everything that's going on right now. Catholicism, even the violence. You could see violence is now being turned toward religious sects, Catholic religion, Jewish religion, things of that nature. So let's say we have this type of spiritual component to this. Are we looking at something that Atlas is coming to say, hey, this is the beginning of tribulations, revelations, things of that nature?
Yeah, but where did tribulation?
Okay, time out. Is this could be a consciousness connection with whatever religion, or like I said, consciousness connection with the creator source.
Okay, now, okay.
Because he just said something that was a big end. He just said we're in tribulations right now. We're in revelations right now.
No,
That's
no,
what you
no.
said.
We've been no. What I've said is okay. All right, you've been fed a line, and this is where you got to be careful. Have you seen the original manuscripts, the original Bible, the what exactly was said or wasn't said, or they've changed the Bible so much they've taken out stuff. So a lot of what's been thrown at us is possibly fear to control us and manipulate us, right? So what if we've been told the wrong story about what will happen at a certain point, or what when everything's going? I mean, basically, they're saying that God's going to return and kill us all, right? Well, I mean, if you don't meet a criteria, which is almost impossible to meet in today's world, especially, how then you're gone. You're going to go to hell, or you're going to be left here, and the real good people are going to leave, or whatever. That's kind of. I remember when I went to Sunday school, we saw this movie, and this movie was everybody just disappeared. All these people were disappearing, and they were like, "What happened to them?" Oh, they just got taken away by God, because those were the good people.
Okay, yeah,
but the bad people are still here.
I have a problem with this now, because look at all the stuff that's going on today in general, all the distrust, the lack of mistrust across the board. If let's just say now we're talking about religion, I don't know what it's going to take, and it's going to be up to the individual to make up their own minds. If there
Bingo! You just said the magic words. It's going to come up to individuals. That's an important part.
But we said that people have turned around and will have to create their own idea of how to do this, or the individual person will have the control of their destiny almost, right, John?
A group, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, people have followed religion all of these years, right? People have fallen in the cults. People are divided by political parties, whatever. It's all across the board. You follow. But why should you follow anything?
Well, everybody tries to follow the truth.
All right, but
what is the truth, Bill?
That's the thing. That's exactly it. What is the truth?
It depends on your faith.
It's all about manipulation and control for thousands of years. It's the power structure. But what, like he's saying, if everything we've been told, or a lot of it, has just been a lie to control. I'm just saying. And it's going to be up to the individual when, like he's saying, if there is going to be a point in the future in time where people are going to have to make a choice for themselves about what really is the truth or reality, and discount all the other stuff. But like I said,
all right,
it's going to take something really like wow moment in order for that to happen, because we don't trust, in general, we don't trust nothing.
Well, go ahead, Chris. I can see
Yeah, I
that
wanna hear
mind.
this.
That
I'm just
detective
saying,
mind's going boom, boom,
I'm
boom,
saying
boom,
the
boom, boom.
individual, if I'm hearing this right, the individual has the opportunity to make up his own decision once he gets the clarity of what the signal is going to bring to him, what the information is going to be given to him. He is going to be told, I hate to say the truth, but he's going to be told this is what it's all about.
Do you
Then
remember?
the individual has to make the decision on what he wants to
I
do.
think
That's it. Just it says knowledge. Perfect.
Right. But do you remember?
And now,
Do you remember the movie Contact?
yes.
yeah,
Were you moved by that movie at all?
of course I was.
Did you get the message that Sagan was trying to tell everybody?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
It was that there is a certain way that things have to be done. It's always done within the universe a certain way. We've done this for 1,000 years. When Jodie Foster meets this entity that looks like his father, he says, take one step at a time, grains of sand, just like the grains of sand here.
Small moves.
It's always
You're
Small
you're in your infancy of your
right.
development.
Right. But
And
what
and
was one of the things? Remember who played the preacher, the minister?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
What was his biggest concern?
interruption of fate.
Yes.
No.
Religion, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah.
No. It was there, but what was one of the profound statements he made about where humanity was going? Nothing to do with religion, but where we were going as a society, even back when Contact was made. Do you remember that quote where he actually stood up and did a small dissertation?
Yes.
Where we're going, and are we better off for where we're going?
We're not in a good place now, and we want to go to a good place, but we're not achieving it. Am I right, John?
Right. I mean, do you think we're in a good place?
No,
Humanity's in a good place right now?
No, with all
No.
the wars going on, with people are killing each other every day.
Let's take the war and set it aside. There's always been war, but what's new? What's new to the whole picture right now? It's no longer just that we're killing each other. It's our next jump where we're going to go. And here's another question that have you ever got an answer on this, Chris? Why do we only utilize 10% of our brain?
I never gotten an answer for that, John. I can tell you that a lot of people have always said that. And here's the amazing thing about that. That's a great question. Yes, people only use 10% of their brain. And yes, I don't have an answer why we do this. But I will tell you that can deviate on either human things or inhuman things. For instance, a person gets hit with a baseball, ends up being a brilliant mathematician. Something joggles his brain where all of a sudden he can do things that other people can't do. People have a near-death experience, wake up and they have psychic ability, or they have the ability to do different things. So, we don't know, and I don't think anybody could say they thoroughly mapped out the way the brain works.
Isn't
It's amazing.
Isn't that what they're trying to do right now?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what, like I said earlier, and Genghis makes a comment in here, not all ears are active at the same time, but what if it is activated or triggered or enhanced that we can at some point, and during that time we're just downloaded with a whole bunch of knowledge, and it's undeniable.
Why do you think you have to be downloaded?
Or whatever it is, some kind of thing where that comes in.
Do you know what the Hopi say? Do you know what the Hopi believe?
I'm using download as a loose term.
No, but you know what the Hopi say?
What?
The Hopi says the secrets are in our DNA. We have the answers. We are who we're looking for. That's exactly what the elders say. It's in our DNA. Okay.
Okay, so maybe we are creation to become creators.
So the unlocking of the DNA is actually going to set off some kind of connection where it affects our consciousness, our brain, our physiology, our bodies, almost similar to maybe what you went through, because you went through all kinds of stuff at that point. Are you saying that's the key, the DNA, to awaken the DNA within all of us?
The DNA in your body holds secrets. The
John,
DNA,
are you the next step? Are you the next step?
Why would I? No, I'm not. But somebody.
Why
is.
not? If your
Maybe-
DNA has been changed, if your DNA is altered, why aren't you the next step? Why couldn't
Okay,
you be
because
the next
okay,
step?
what do computers do?
Well, wait a minute.
No, but I'm going to ask you a question. What happens?
I
You
know.
download information. The next
Right.
computer gets faster. The next computer creates the
Processing,
next
yes.
programming. It
Right.
goes, it evolves, and you get to the point where you have a better model. Is what you
All
have.
right, but why can't? From what I'm experienced with you, is that you may be the next step. We know that your DNA was altered. We know that you came from a long bloodline.
No, time out. I've been told my DNA's been altered. Okay, Chris. I don't have the proof. I mean, I would be disingenuous. I'm just telling you, these guys came. They wanted to study my mind. They took my DNA, they took my tissue. They studied all this. They came back with a semi-report about what my bloodlines were and what they meant. They won't tell you what's in that 100-person study. Now, Nolan did just say something that was interesting. Did you guys hear what he just said the other day on Rogan?
No.
100 people were studied. 90 of them were the Havana syndrome. 10 weren't. So 10 people within that 100 people study are different. Something about them is different, but it didn't get expanded on what the difference is on those 10 in the DNA study over the other 90.
But what's to say that all of our DNA can't be altered in some type of an event?
Why does it have to be altered? What if it's there? What if you're a key? What if there's a harmonics field? Okay, what if?
Okay, so the switch in our DNA is activated in some sense.
You'd have to think of it this way: if you have to make your individual choice, but individually you have to come together at some point to make a stand.
So you're saying a collective consciousness?
Yeah, you don't follow. I don't listen to what Bill says. I know what's right, and I go to the other people that feel the same way. I make the choice, not somebody telling me what to make. And what are they trying to do to us right now over and over again? TV, radio, news, everything, social media. They're trying to tell us what we should and shouldn't believe. We're losing our ability for what? Critical thinking.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I totally agree.
It's all going away from us, whether it's math, everything. You know what I mean? We're losing the complete ability.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a great conversation, and we'll continue it next Saturday. But just a quick preview of Chapter 6, the Convergence Vector. I mean, Chris, you already got a sneak peek of it. I haven't had a sneak peek of it for next week. Again, this is just getting more intense as this is going forward. And folks, you need to tune in. There's connections made. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm not going to give away spoilers, but I have, it's going to be posted shortly. So I'm just going to read the general description. Jack hears the phrase, "You're already inside." The underground anomalies point toward time, not just folding, but becoming sentient. The forest may not be a location, it may be a portal. Now, again, I'm not going to give out spoilers, but boy, oh boy, you're going to see what was pretty much going on at the moment and the lack thereof of what they really knew what was going on and control. You're going to have to tune in, and the connections made to things that are happening today. That's the best tease I can give you. You're just going to have to tune in. Chris, just a quick, a little quick peek and review of what you thought of Chapter 6 without giving out too many spoilers.
I think Chapter 6 starts to open the door. You know, we've we've come up to a certain point up to chapter 5 that gives us an idea what's going on. But I think chapter 6 actually opens the door and enlightens you and starting down that path of what John's journey was all about.
The one thing I'm concerned with John, he's already told us there's sliders coming and there's a curveball coming up. So though we may think what's going on, I think we're going to get a rude awakening somewhere.
Wait till the knuckle curve comes out.
Yeah, see. That's right. Anyway, before we leave, I also the music associated. Now, John he is the creator of this music, and you did write the lyrics, correct, John, to these songs? Or
the lyrics are written off of each chapter, yes.
So, but the person that is the content creator who's doing an amazing job on this, Keith, I'm going to put up a couple of areas where you can go visit his sites, bcss.rocks, and also his YouTube channel at Rose City Sound Project. A lot of the music is posted there. A lot of cool stuff is posted there. So go check that out. Make sure to go check that out.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I close with this?
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Chris, I've known you a while. I've watched you on camera. I've never seen you more perplexed than you are right now. you are thinking right now. And that's some of what needs to happen, folks. When was the last time you cleared your mind and started wondering about what everything was all really about? Not what you're being told to think, but what does life in general, and what is your purpose, and why are you here, and how and why do you matter, and everything else. When was the last time you started thinking about different things, not just looking at what you've been told to believe?
When my grandchild was born.
Right. I know. And that moment for me was when my son was born. Yes.
There you go. Well, I see someone in chat, Dave. Remember, each episode, new chapter airs on Thursdays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And Chris, John, and I are here live every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. But make sure to check out the chapters. They're available on KGRA-DB's YouTube, Facebook, and on X, it's at Global Radio Live. So it's Thursdays. Each new chapter airs Thursdays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And on Wednesday, Christmas Eve at noon, will be the airing of the final chapter, chapter 22. And you can see that all of this is leading around that same time, 45 years ago, what happened at Rendlesham around the same period of time. So you're going to have to just tune in. And like Chris and I, we're trying to get to it. But John, you can see how John's giving us a little like teasing, and he's like not going to give in, because it's great though, because this is such an interesting series. And I had to watch it a few times just to get all the information. I'm sure Chris probably did.
I will tell folks, you got to watch it more than once.
Yeah, you got just to absorb all the information, because there's a lot of stuff in there. There really is. And a lot of it's factually based information on the technology, past and present. There are connections. So, John, any closing thoughts here before we wrap it up?
Just do some more deep thinking, folks. Take some real time to clear your mind whenever you can, just like Chris just did tonight, and start really thinking about things. Stop thinking about what you're being told to believe or follow, and start thinking about what you know is right.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Those listening on the radio side, we'll see you next week for another live show. But don't forget about Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, the Green Veil, Chapter 6, Convergence Vector. And we will be back next week. So for John, Chris, and myself, you all have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Good night.